There is definitely not someone can make me happy in all like sides of my life.
Right.
You at least need 3.
Like, she just trumped all the Geminis out there. What, like, are you a Pisces? I mean, because, like, I was thinking, Gemini, you might Pisces? Or, like, what's your...
Capricorn.
You are a Capricorn. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
They have a little crazy side to them.
I think you'll find every sign has a little crazy side to them.
Well, that's probably true.
Yeah.
Welcome to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Here's your host, Marcus.
Welcome to another episode of Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. I'm Marcus, and today I have again a co-host sitting in for Amy, and that would be Angie.
Hello.
How are you doing, Angie?
I'm good.
Hey,
How are
thanks
you?
for coming again. We sure get a lot of comments on your shows. So, really enjoy having you co-host.
It's fun. I
Yeah.
enjoy it. So thank you for having me.
Today, I have a really special guest. It's somebody that I met a year ago. Do you remember when? It was October 9th. It was when our first date was. Actually, I met you a little bit before that, but
Yeah, like officially.
yeah, we went out on our first date, and I was telling Angie that I had COVID that night. But anyway, welcome, Meah.
Thank you.
Meah's from Egypt, right?
Yes.
What part of Egypt are you from?
Alexandria.
Yeah. And then how long have you lived in the U.S.?
Like 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Now, you came over to study, or why did you come over to the U.S.?
Originally, I didn't come to study. I came with my ex. Then didn't work out, so I decided to stay for school.
Okay. So you were married, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you came over because of marriage. Now, where did you meet him?
In Egypt.
Okay. And then did you guys get married there or over here?
No hair.
You got married here. Okay. So then you came over to the U.S. to live. And what were your original plans?
I mean, that was my original plan.
Yeah.
I moved here to move permanently and to work here. Then just my plan changed.
Mm-hmm. So it didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
And then where did you go from there? What was your next thought process? Like, unfortunately, this relationship's not working out. What do I do now?
Yeah, it's just kind of different how we get into relationships from my background as a community, as a culture. So we don't really get to, I guess, date someone here or live with someone. So I guess you don't really get to know people like that well. Mm-hmm. And you just I got shocked with the person that I was living with because we're just totally different. Mm-hmm. But you can really get fooled when you just meet someone in a foreign country for them because they would be definitely different person. They just want to explore and adventure. So you kind of see different side of them. To be in real life with someone, to live with someone, you see the true face of them. And that when I start seeing that it's not what I wanted into my life and I couldn't keep going with it.
How long did you know him before you got married?
Couple years, but it wasn't most of it was long distance. I still think I didn't really get to know the person, but also that was most of the relationships around me. So I didn't think that's anything different, mm-hmm. But I totally understand now that I don't believe in just being in a relationship with someone like this. And it doesn't mean everyone in my society or my culture was following specific way that I need to follow, mm-hmm. because it doesn't have to work for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Now, was he the same religion as you, or was he different?
Originally, he was different, but when I met him, he was the same. I think he converted before.
Okay, so now you
met him.
grew up Muslim, and your family's Muslim?
Yes.
Okay. That played a big role in you discovering yourself sexually too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how did your husband, how did he deal with that? Because your family was very strict religiously.
Yes.
In that.
And we didn't actually, like, we never, like, had any, like, sexual, like, folly before we get married.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
From where I can relate to you a lot, because with the religion that I was in prior to SA and etc., you didn't date, you courted. Mm-hmm. So whoever you were dating, the intention was marriage, period. And so it was kind of like this game face during the courting season, because once you were married for life. In my religion, like, God does not honor divorce, right? So like when you're married for life. But then also there's no sex before marriage. There's no exploration before marriage. So it's kind of this environment where you're marrying into figuring all of that out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. At least in, like, my religion, like, divorce is allowed, which is like a god, like. Because, like, I can't just imagine, like, for life, let's just accept the fact that people get married to someone they are dating or they get engaged to without even, like, being with them. So, like, it's totally different. You can be with someone and you like them, you're, like, feel like emotionally connected to them, like, mentally, spiritually, but there is also, like, chemistry that we don't, like, usually figure it out unless you're with someone sexually. And that could change a lot between two people. So the fact that just you get into this and you don't really have the option is really, it's tough.
Well, I dated my ex-wife for 10 months, and then when we got married, probably about 30 days into it, I knew I made a mistake. Because it's just so much different living with somebody than when you're just courting or you're dating. It's so even though we did have sex before marriage, it was still so much different.
It is.
When you had to wake up next to that person every day.
But for you, it's such a unique experience because you met this person. You didn't get to spend a lot of time before you moved here to be with him. So, and then once you got here, were you completely dependent then? For the most part, like, on him. So it was a very vulnerable situation.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least, like, I had, like, options.
Yeah.
But it was, like, also, like, tough situations because, like, I wasn't, like, resident and just, like, lots of process. And I was already, like, I quit my job and I was just, like, ready to start a different chapter. Then I figured out that life is just so different. So I was, like, in shifting, trying to fit in and adapt with, like, lots of things around me. New country, new life, new home, new, like, experience, everything. And it was just a lot to deal with.
It is a lot.
Still learning the language, and then the culture is completely different.
Yeah, it's totally different. The culture, even, like, people, like, behavior, like, I didn't really have any friends. So it was just, like, hard. Don't really have any family around. Wasn't easy also. Even I was just still learning the language because I wasn't really in, like, English school. We learned a little bit, like, basic level, but not, like, any, like, advanced level. So I've learned a lot in the past few years.
And that's really hard. I moved from America to Honduras for a couple of years to work at an orphanage. And it was complete immersion into that culture. Like, there's no halfway American, halfway Honduras, right?
Yeah.
So I remember one of the hardest things for me was honestly feeling the culture was so different. And then the language barrier was a little bit different. So not feeling like I could have really good, authentic conversations with like people and build those friendships in that same way because that was so difficult.
Yes.
It's a very isolating.
No, I totally understand that. Like,
Yeah.
to just feel like very connected to people. Like, language is very
So
important. And even if you learn the language, it takes you even longer to, even if you're like, we're fluent in specific language, like every country or every city in this country have different, like, accent,
different dialect.
dialogues.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So it just, and even different expressions.
Sure, yeah.
Especially English. Like, if there's one language I did not want to have to learn, it would be English, because we use so much slang.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
like, it's just awful.
Yeah, it's a lot. I will say, like, lots of languages has lots of slang. So even like Egyptian, Arabic, our slang is like completely different than the Arabic. Even
Yeah.
like other Arabic country, they like, no, we can't like speak your slang because it's just so different. But the hard thing in English, I would say, that there is lots of word that you can't pronounce it as it's spelled.
It's not phonetic.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
You have to know like how exactly you say it. Otherwise, it just, you can say it completely.
Because it
like,
makes no
different.
sense.
Yeah.
So my ex-wife was
I mean,
from
it just doesn't.
El Salvador, and
Right.
she had to learn English also, and she spoke very well. But we were going to a restaurant, and she said, "Oh, it's on Southern Street." And I looked at her, and I said, "I know it looks like it's supposed to be Southern, but it's not the way we pronounce. You know, that's not the way it's pronunciated. It's Southern." And she's like, "Well, I don't understand." Like, oh, there's plenty of things you won't understand about the English language, but that's just the way we say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also like I get that like it's hard to connect with people that you're like, from like language or different culture from you, because it's hard to express yourself lots of the time. Like for me, I understand most of things that say to me, which is why like sometimes I prefer to like listen more than I talk, because it's harder to like express yourself or like describe things. And sometimes when I want to tell a story or describe things, it takes me like longer than it should be, because I use like lots of like phrases to,
Yeah,
like,
lots of smaller words trying
Yeah.
to piece it together. That's my Spanish, exactly the same.
Mine too.
Yeah. All right.
So for like lots of people who's like English is their second language, I think they understand more, they listen more, they absorb more.
Yeah.
So you came over, you decided that marriage wasn't for you with this person. Where did you go from there?
Just as decided to stay and keep going here, because by the time I was like started getting in the culture, into the country, and I knew like I have ambitious here and I can like succeed. So I started like going for school, do my plan B.
Good for you.
Now, you also needed to start dating again.
Of course.
And then what did you do to start that, to launch that adventure again?
I think I just didn't like decide I'm gonna start like date again. Things just happen. So I met someone shortly after at some club, and we didn't decide anything, but suddenly we just start like being together for the next year.
So you found somebody at a bar or at a club?
Yes.
And you guys dated for a year? And then I guess that ended.
Yeah, probably it was a year or even less than a year, but at the end of the year was kind of like ups and downs. So
Okay.
then it ended right actually before COVID.
Oh, okay.
Of course, was hard enough during COVID to meet anyone or to make even any new friends, or we weren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's when I started being on the site.
On Seeking.
Yes.
Yeah, so I met you about 6 months after COVID had started, and I think you were fairly new on the site at the time.
Yeah.
How did you come to finding the site? What prompted you to sign up for it? And what were you expecting?
So, like, at the first, like, my friend recommended
It's
the
always a friend. You notice
site for
that?
me.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, it
always
was
somebody that
it was
has a
for me
friend.
too.
Yeah. I guess,
Yeah.
like, we will have, like, good experience with it, or... Because otherwise, I don't think
I
you
thought they
would
were
know.
so bad. I was like, oh no.
You thought your friend was bad?
Like, yeah. So my friend got on SA and she was telling me about it. And I was like, well, that's good for you. But I could never. I was like, oh, no. Because I still had with my religion being sexual outside of marriage was so prohibited. Like I still had all these hangups, like, with the whole shame side of things.
Oh, if you don't me asking, like, are you still like in your religion?
Oh, no.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 44.
And when did you like decide you're out?
I would say probably 3 years ago. I got divorced about 6 years ago, and I still really tried to maintain like that church, like going to church every Sunday, every Wednesday, Monday night was prayer, Thursday night was Bible study.
It's hard to like.
I really tried, and it just was, eventually for me, it became that tore me down more than it built me up. And I wanted to know who I was apart from what everyone told me I was supposed to be. And I was like, I want to figure some things out for myself. And SA was I was always very sexual. I was never allowed to express it because, I was told that was not good. But I always felt very sexual and very independent. So when my friend told me about SA initially, I was like, the shock. And then the intrigue kind of hit me, and I was like, wait a minute.
What were your thoughts when your friend told you about that?
Yeah.
So my friend just recommended because it's like somewhere you can meet people during COVID. And also it's different.
This is true.
It's different like type of people that like more mature, more like they got their shit together and they have
they're serious.
more time to like, it just like, it's easy because everyone is just most of the time, other than the scammers or people that like just messing around.
It's like everybody knows the rules.
Exactly. Everybody knows the rules and everyone just like know what they're offering and what they are looking for. And they're just like, okay, and
we've said that before.
It.
The authenticity that SA brings to the table is like kind of refreshing because you can just put it out there what you expect.
Exactly.
And what you like and what you don't like. And it's kind of like you either take it or you leave it. And, there's no judgment in it. It's just, hey.
No, and no waste of the time. And honestly, it's how it is with even every other side or every like relationships. People just try like to pretend they are something else, but at the end of the day everyone have requirements, everyone have like things that they want.
There's always an exchange of energy in any relationship, period. Whether it is the man is providing for the woman and the woman is cooking, cleaning, taking care of children, or whether the woman is providing intimacy and sexual excitement for the man, or like there's always an exchange of energy.
And it just like, it's differently how everyone can call it.
Yeah, we just call it different things, right? Depending on what's morally appropriate.
Yes.
You made your profile.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then?
Honestly, like it was just from the first months, I think it was pretty fun.
Right?
Yes.
What made it fun? What was happening?
I guess I was just good at like picking what I like and what not, and I just don't waste my time. Like sometimes I will look at someone profile and I just know right away like that's not for me. Even if you're like offering so much, I just like have this point that doesn't work for me as a person, or I know
they're going to be too needy, or they're going to demand like too much from
or
you.
They just like, they tell things about themselves because like people tell you about themselves and I'm like,
that's not true. Like, stop it.
Yeah, I'm like, that's not going to work with me. So I just don't even like,
what do you look for in a profile of someone that you want to have an arrangement with?
Someone like fun, open-minded, have like mutual like interests like me. People like to travel, like music, like exploring things. Like some people will go and like tell you like on the profile, like, yeah, we're just like not into blah, blah, blah. We're not into that. We're just like our life. It's like this and we're over this part. And I'm like, okay, this is not my life. So bye.
Yeah. You still want to have fun.
Yes, exactly.
And like explore and experience things.
And which is like great about the site because people just like save like your time.
Right.
Like by telling you about themselves.
Right.
So even like if they like text me or whatever, I just look at their profile first before responding to them, and it just made my choices less and less.
Like,
and
I wish people on the site would understand this more, especially the men. Read the profile.
Oh,
yes.
Like, read the profile.
And
it's
then
not that hard.
yeah.
I have also,
But we're
like,
copying and pasting.
I've gotten a few of those. We'll talk about it later. Go ahead.
yeah. Then like I have to log to like if I found like that profile interesting to me and the person like start talking to me, I never start talking to someone. Like
I don't either.
yeah,
So you never message them first?
no.
I get a lot of messages.
I don't.
Yeah.
I
I've
don't.
probably got, so my membership's expired and I don't have any reason to be on there right now, but I probably have 15 or 20 messages waiting for me that I can't read.
Why
a lot
do
of
you
people message me
think
first.
that I'm sorry. I'm just gonna. It's girls now.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's
You hear.
It's girl time, Marcus. What do you find attractive? I'm so intrigued by you, by the way. So I love to ask questions. So please don't feel intimidated at all. It's just I love this. But so what is it like in a profile that would attract you? You'd be like, okay, I'm going to respond to this person.
The first of all, the way they're like approach you or talking to you, because also if I read someone profile and they like their profile, like it's like fun. You can tell from like what they, how they, the way they bought themselves, you know, it's like you can tell the personality is like fun, like open, like there's some things you're like intrigued or like you actually want to know more. Or like it match your personality or what you're looking for. That's thing. The second, like how they approach you and like they message you and their way, you can tell how they are like a gentleman or they just like douchebag or
100%
people
Well,
I'm like,
she's learned that American slang.
some people
It's
I
very
like,
important in the
Don't-
American dating world to know that term.
Who the
some
douchebags
people I
are.
don't really even like bother respond to them because it's just like their way. It's like, oh no,
Yeah.
you don't know how to even talk to like
I had a guy message me last night and
not bothering.
his response was like that. Like he was like, hey, what can I do to get you to come over and get in my, and it's like, it's just that kind of like, and I was like,
Yes.
there's not really anything you can do.
Exactly.
Bye.
Yeah, some people like I don't speak for every like girl, but they
course.
understand that like it doesn't matter what you're offering as long as you're just like have this mentality. It's not like getting you anywhere
Right.
with me,
Right.
at least. Then if I like the way they're talking and their profile and we start talking, I ask to see their pictures because it's important also.
It is.
Because you have like some, like, I would say like type or things. It doesn't mean to be like someone good looking or someone attractive, but I would say like everyone have this,
Yes.
like, you know,
Right.
type there can like be like around. And I don't like judge people for it because like your personality can definitely
Make up for a
change
lot, right?
the way that you're looking to someone. You can see some people like attractive until you get to know them, then you just like start seeing them in a different eye.
Agreed. But
But
then
I
there are
know-
some people that like I see their picture and I'm like, okay, that just would not be there. Like,
Exactly.
the physical attraction is just not,
Exactly.
you're not
So
my
you
cup
know.
of tea. Right.
You know, so that's important also.
It is. Yeah. Yeah.
And then I think this is the few like basics. And if we just like talking and it's like interesting, meet and see if we have like any connection and we can like go ahead from there.
Right. Agreed. So do you think that, I know for me, especially coming out of like such a strict religious background and like different things, for me, seeking arrangements, which there's a lot of, I feel like we always use the term seeking arrangements or SA, but there are a lot of other formats for sugar daddy, sugar baby relationships out there. So I don't want to exclude those, but I feel like it has been a platform for me that I've really been able to grow in and express. Like, I didn't know how much I enjoyed being sexual and how much power and empowerment I got from being sexual until I started being with men who really appreciated that about me instead of it being something that, should be diminished, I guess, which is what I was used to.
Yes.
So how has that been for you?
I mean, it was definitely like also a way to like express myself or even like learn, because I didn't really have this much experience before, just like being with one person for a long time and coming from very close like culture sexually, not even like experiencing thing, but also not even like being able to talk about it or learn.
Because I found I'm very different, because I was telling this to Marcus in another episode that for me, I really thought going into this type of lifestyle that I was going to be submissive, because I was told women are submissive to men, women must submit to men, a women's role is this, etc. And now that I've had all these experiences, I am not very I don't mind being a lady and being kind and being sweet, but I would not call myself traditionally submissive, especially sexually.
Yeah. No, I'm not either. Even
I really adore that answer.
Even if I came from like this background, but I just never called myself
submissive. Like that title, and I think it's just never fit, right? Like I was just like, oh, this is so boring. Like, yes. I don't want to be submissive. I want something else. Can I do this now? Thank you.
Yeah, no, I definitely found myself like after my like 2 sexual relationship that like I was not really open at the beginning to like try new things, or because I was always like kind of scared or like don't know what's happening, what I should do, because I wasn't even like, I didn't used to watch porn.
Right. So right. Me either. That was a big no. So I didn't.
So you sometimes just even like have needs you're not even aware that you have.
Or it's not even that you're not aware of it. You're told that like to be satisfied in that way as a woman, or to have that need or to express that need, like that's not your role. Your job is to please the man. So your needs come last.
So you feel like shame even if you like feel like, something different than like when you have these needs and you feel like you need to satisfy it, because you've told to feel like this way, like the body shame, which can affect you a lot mentally. And that influence your like sexual relationships 100%. On the long term.
Yeah. When I first started, I think that's why it was so easy for me to be submissive and to go a little bit more vulnerable, is because like to be the recipient of sexual gratification, to lay there and allow a man to satisfy me, like that felt so often wrong and weird. But if I was just submitting to what he wanted, then I wasn't in control of what was happening to me sexually, and then I could allow myself to orgasm. But it couldn't be in the mindset of I deserve to be pleased. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It had to be because that is what he wanted to do to me. There was this weird whole mental construction and thought process around allowing myself to orgasm in the beginning, and if I deserved that, because it was just all about pleasing the man.
Yes, it's really like hard, because when you have like all this like mental thoughts of what you told and what you like used to live, it just really affects your body.
It
how
does.
It feels. And for the longest time, I believed that I couldn't orgasm. I just believed like it's impossible. it was so rare to happen.
And did you feel guilty, like when a person would try to take the time then to allow you to orgasm? It's like, it's hard not to enter that. Was it hard not to enter that place of like feeling guilty? Like, okay, like you've done enough. Okay, now let me take care of you.
Yes, definitely. Or sometimes even I will be like, takes me like a very long time.
Right.
So, and I have all this like shame feeling and thoughts, and which is prevent you from enjoying yourself and your sexuality. Of course, lead you to not orgasm.
Right.
Or
I think that's what men don't realize, especially like women in our situation. It's almost like a mental journey to, first of all, okay, this feels good. Like you almost go through this process and then you finally get to like this space in your head that you can just...
Now, a lot of men have trouble understanding this because men are pretty basic.
Right.
Yeah.
There's not much
So simple.
preventing us from getting there. Where obviously I know at my age now that women do have these roadblocks in their head and these things that kind of prevent them from really opening up and enjoying. What have you found when men kind of are struggling with you to, like, they want to get you there and you're not getting there? What are they saying or what are they doing? Do they run for the hills? Do they communicate with you about it, going, what am I doing wrong?
yeah, like I definitely made like lots of thoughts, like misunderstanding, because like the person, like, or my partner would think it's something wrong about him or like something wrong about us together. And that's why I'm not reach my pleasure. But I had to like communicate and tell it's not about you, it's me. And I'm aware of it and just like I'm trying to work on it. It was really hard for me, even like when I even was married, the first few times we had sex, I even cried after.
Yeah.
Because I felt this like, oh, I'm doing something wrong, even like I'm not, but I still have this thoughts and feeling and shame that makes me feel like, like giving my body away. It's horrible. And I just like felt like I'm very separate. I'm like two separate person. Like one lived this life and the other one is still young and still child and still think and different mentality and still affecting me until my present moment and preventing me from my happiness. And I was like crying for the first few times.
I understand that so much more than what you think, just from like a female perspective. And like, it's almost like dealing with that inner child and like the separation of, that's a whole different show and topic. But I definitely understand like feeling like there's this adult person who deserves this, but then there's this part of you that feels almost wounded and traumatized by it at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really like for a phase to communicate with my partner because I didn't even know what I
100%.
wanted. Because like how people know what they want, because they are like in a good relationship with their body and they know what they need, what pleases them. But when you're like being told to be in a certain way, I didn't learn anything about it. I didn't use to like talk about it. It wasn't that open. So I didn't really have like the education that makes me
and
aware
who does?
of my...
Because we're just so...
No, exactly. But even like some people are like more open and they're just like explore more. I didn't used to like masturbate, watch porn.
It's such a common theme among us former religious people.
So when I just like found myself in this life and like I have to communicate because it's such a big part.
Do you feel like
life.
You've gotten better at the communication? Because I do. I feel like I'm better at the communication. Sometimes I have a hard time coming. I'm just being very frank. But now I'm not afraid of saying, hey, let me grab my toy.
Oh,
hey, let me grab, like, hey, let me do this. Or if, like, I'm not afraid, like, because this could go on for a long time. And the man is,
For sure.
and the guy is trying, like, the man is trying so hard, right? Like, the attempt is on, but I'm like, just let me grab my toy.
No, even us, like, sorry, like, I get bored from, like, just trying so long. And I know, like, that man is, like, done, but he's trying his best.
Doing
but
his best. Like,
it just
I'm
not
like,
gonna
vibrator,
work
please. I'm like, toy, please. I'm like,
exactly.
but I'm much better. Whereas before, number one, I never owned a toy until about 2 years ago.
Really?
I'm not gonna. Yeah,
Oh my
because
God.
that
You
was
need to see my collection now.
now I
Yes,
have
definitely.
I have like, a whole closet dedicated to toys, and I have my favorite toys, and I'm getting better at masturbating, which is something I feel very proud about because it's
Yes.
not something I felt comfortable with before. So I feel like SA or the sugar baby lifestyle for me has definitely helped me embrace and feel empowered by my sexuality instead of feel ashamed of it. Is it like that for you as well?
Yes, it's like pretty much close to it because I didn't used to like explore myself, explore my body, or
Right.
like try to like masturbate. Or even when I started, it was just I was like learning about me, and it takes time.
Yeah.
It's a process.
And I can say, men, like the head game, like when we masturbate, the head game is exactly the same as when we're having sex. It's not about you. It's something that happens in our head as women. I think sometimes it's like this playbook we kind of sometimes have to go through to get to a place where we're really comfortable to allow
Yes.
ourselves to orgasm.
Yes.
But
So I became for sure like way better in communication.
Good.
Because with my partner, because I became way more confident and well communicated with myself. And that allows me to.
And did you find that he liked that more as well? Like he wanted you to be more direct and more open
Yes,
and more
for
confident?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, we even had we had an opportunity where I was getting a little frustrated with our relationship, and then we actually had the kind of a talk, and she brought a vibrator with her that night, and when she pulled it out, I'm like, whoa. And actually, it was a great experience. I enjoyed that. I was actually really happy that she had brought it.
Right.
And it helped kind of, open up communication again and open up, our sex life, I guess you would say.
I think that's so amazing because I think ultimately everybody wants, it's not even about us individually just being pleased. Like ultimately we want to feel like we're pleasing the person that we're with. And when you can do that mutually, it's so
It feels so
exciting.
different.
Right.
Yeah. And once I understood her better, and she got a lot better with the communication. And once we had more of a talk, it just kind of loosened everything up and made everything a lot more comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's probably why it's been a year now. Yeah.
Yes.
Lasted a little bit longer than her marriage.
But that's what communication will do for you. But I think that
But we would kill each other, I think, if we were married.
yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
What
You think so? Yeah. I
Well,
don't know.
we
Okay.
enjoy-
I don't know if you would kill her, Marcus.
Well, no.
I feel like she would certainly
Yeah.
kill you.
But what I really enjoy about Meah is she is the I'm down girl. Like there's so many things that we enjoy going and doing, like concerts, and she's such a foodie, and I
You
love food.
look like you're a lot of fun. Can we just say, okay,
And-
you guys can't see Meah, but number one, she's gorgeous. But you just have this energy about you. Like you're the girl that I would take to the club.
Yeah, she
You're
is.
the girl that I would take. Like if I was like, hey, we've never done this before, but we're going to go try it.
Yeah.
Like you're the girl I would pick.
She's
I'm
down.
down.
She's
For
down.
sure.
And that's what I really like about her. And that's, we probably go out maybe 2 or 3 times a month, but it's so easy to plan a date with her because she's always down for anything.
Everything.
Yeah. And it's so refreshing. She's not a vegetarian. We don't have to worry about, the food. Like we can go eat anything, which is, really nice because now
Do you meet a lot of it?
I meet a lot of vegetarians, and it's
I
just
feel
kind
your
of
pain
hard.
on that. My daughter is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
we
nothing
can't.
against that. It just limits.
I can only
it
eat so
limits
many
some of
lentils.
yeah,
Which they're great.
the opportunities. Yeah.
But can you put some like lamb in there with them? I don't know. Something like mix it up a bit. Give me some meat.
So you said you narrow down kind of the guys that you meet and that you decide to meet for the first time or whatever, or pursue something. What kind of guys are you meeting now? Or like what's out there?
That's a great question.
Yeah, I would just say like right now I'm not really like looking for any like relationship or any commitment. I'm just like focusing on school. What I just have a busy life.
You sound like a lot like me. Like I felt like I'm still figuring out what I really like and what I enjoy, and I feel so independent. And we've had this talk. I don't mind non-monogamous relationships. I'd rather have my freedom. So I like keeping things open.
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe in like open.
Me too.
things.
Me too. I think most people, if they would just try it, they would like it.
Well, what I like about Meah is I have different needs in my life.
Right.
And she fulfills like this portion, going out, going to a club, going dancing or whatever we're going to go do, or going to feed. She may not fulfill my entire needs of what I'm looking for, but she certainly fills this void. So it's really nice.
Don't you feel like it's kind of like selfish of humanity and whole to like think that we have to be with this one person and that one person is supposed to fill all of our needs for the rest of our life?
Yeah,
like,
that's
I mean,
tough.
it's kind of, that's
a tall order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost kind of selfish.
Yeah.
But that's what we expect in marriage. Like, hey, I pick you.
Yes, people think
Make
that
me happy forever. Thank you. And
No.
if you don't,
there is definitely not someone can make me happy in all like sides of my life.
right?
You at least need 3.
Like she just trumped all the Geminis out there. What? Like, are you a Pisces? I mean, because like I was thinking, Gemini, you might Pisces. Or, like, what's your?
Capricorn.
You are Capricorn. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Interesting.
They have a little crazy side to them.
I think you'll find every sign has a little crazy side to them.
Well, that's probably true.
Yeah. So what would you say your overall experience on SA or Seeking? I guess they've changed their name now, but would you say it's positive? Would you recommend it for other people, and why?
Yeah, I will definitely recommend it if they can use it the right way. It's not for everyone.
Yeah.
Like some of my friends like got on it and they're like, no, it's like very overwhelming, and it could be. And honestly, like even for me, it gets boring sometimes, and it gets a lot, and you can get frustrated from. You can get like so many people in a row, like scammers or just like
The same. Do
bullshit.
you feel like
or-
you get a little bit like from the women's side, and men probably feel like this too? Do you feel like you start to kind of like get a little bit jaded just because like sometimes the responses become really monotonous? Like everybody just like they ask the same questions or they want the
Yes.
same things, and you're like, can you just look, if you're a man on SA or even if you're a woman, like just bring a little bit of uniqueness to the table, because that's what we're looking for. We're looking for an authentic hello, not just a picture request, or we're looking for not a copy and paste introduction, but we're looking for like just a smidge of authenticity, and like I'm speaking to you. I'm not
Like they've actually
sending
read your
you-
profile.
Right. Like I'm not sending 100 women this response. I'm actually speaking to you as a person. And that's what attracts when like someone messages me on SA and I feel like they're actually speaking to me as a person.
Yeah.
That is what grabs my attention.
Exactly, like they know a little bit about you. They
Right.
actually took the time and read your profile, so they know. Otherwise, like you just know right away if someone like copy paste and like telling you the same exact things that they tell everyone else.
Yes.
It's just like very obvious.
Right.
This like
Or
long
it's the standard,
paragraph.
oh, hey,
or-
baby, you look hot. What are you doing? Or just the standard picture request. Or there's kind of like there's a routine that the men go through, I guess, if you will. But when I have that one man that really comes across like as a gentleman and genuinely
actually intrigued
sees
by you.
intrigued or interested in me, then I'm like, oh, hey, yeah, let's talk. So I think that probably goes the same for women as well, maybe in our responses or how we, engage with the men as well. Like, I'm sure we get probably a little bit monotonous.
Yes.
I don't know.
I agree.
All right, Angie, anything else?
Oh, not from me.
It was sure great to have Meah in the studio
I wish
today.
I could talk to you for like another 2 hours because I feel like we could have such a great conversation. I wish we had more time.
Right.
We get a lot of chances.
Can you believe the time went so quickly?
Did it?
Oh, man, we're already out of time. Can you believe that?
No, but I'm off to a lunch meet and greet. So
Right. Oh, you'll have to let us know how that goes.
Business beckons.
Well, I want to thank Meah for being on the program today. We got a lot of good insight from somebody that's not native to this land and some of the challenges that they face. And I'm glad that she found the site because that's where I found her.
Right.
Yeah. And it's been a great experience for the last year.
That's so good.
Yeah.
So happy for you.
Thank Angie for filling in today as my co-host. You're always great. And we're going to have you back many, many more times.
Okay. Great.
Hey, find us on Instagram, secretsofasugardaddy.com. Let us know what you think about the show, any ideas you have for it, and even if you want to be a guest, we'd love to have you on the show. So until next episode, bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to connect or even be on the show, we'd love to hear from you at secretsofasugardaddy.com.